Arsenal have been linked with a litany of players from around the continent as they look to build for next season under Unai Emery. One positive development before we get started on our yes or no segment as to whether they should sign these players, Paul, is the appointment of Edu, former player, as a technical director. Their first in history as they sort of front up this new footballing group responsible for bringing in and recruiting players.
That's exactly what they want. That's a massive yes for me. The continuity, he'll be able to expand the squad, get the scouting correct. So it's a good move.
Okay, let's start off then with a few players who have been linked, and I imagine that Edu would be a fan or recommend these players. So let's see if you think that they'd be good additions or not. Malcom at Barcelona didn't really get many opportunities last year, 22 years of age. He
obviously was a massive failure. He didn't even come close to getting in the side. He was just a bit part player. If you're going to spend quite a considerable amount of money, you've got to have something to go by. There's nothing to go by. If this guy does come into the Premier League, can he hack it? Because the Premier League is a different animal. It just is. And so for me, he's a no.
Okay. There's a big theme around all of these is that Arsenal might be restricted in how much money they can spend. Yeah. Barcelona want the same kind of fee that they spent last year for him.
Well, it makes sense.
Right.
He's got 3 years left in his deal, I think.
4, I think.
This guy, Lemina, at Southampton, what has he done for me? What has he done for me at Southampton? Absolutely nothing. How is he going to make an impact in the centre of midfield for Arsenal? Arsenal got Torreira. I don't know why, if they're trying to unload Torreira, maybe there's some breakdown with the coach. I'm not quite sure. I think he's a terrific player. He's a fan favourite. He puts a shift in. He knows exactly what he's doing in the middle of the park. And I'm sorry, but bringing in Lemina for 20-30 million?
No, maybe 20 million. Southampton want what they paid Juventus for him.
Yeah, so as a squad player maybe, but as a first-team player, no.
Right.
Not for me.
Okay. Tiemoue Bakayoko, similar position on the field, has not settled, of course, at Chelsea. Spent last year at Milan, and apparently now Leonardo wants him at PSG, having left Milan.
Well, let him go to PSG then.
Not good enough?
No, but what has he shown you in the Premier League at Chelsea? Right. Now, you can make all sorts of excuses. You know, the squad, it was different, the group around him didn't match it. Rubbish. If you're good enough, if you look at him, you look at the size of him, he's got the physical attributes. Yes, he has. But he didn't do it. So Chelsea offload him. There's a warning sign. If you're going to get him for next to nothing, then maybe you think about it. But again, no.
Okay.
Not for me.
Switch back to the wings, just like Malcom here. Lucas Vazquez, a wide player at Real Madrid, involved an awful lot last year, but available for 30 million, and apparently Unai Emery is a fan. Yeah,
well, that's all well and good, but he was in a Real Madrid side that was awful. Again, the massive... If Unai Emery is certain about this player, and he can hang his hat on him, because that's what's going to happen, he's a manager, the coach, then, okay, this may be a possibility. He may see something in this player that will work in the Premier League. But for me, personally, no.
Okay, still not good enough?
Nope.
Wilfried Zaha, a player they've bid for, apparently is too expensive for them. They're willing to go up to around 45 million is the report. Palace wants something closer to 80 million. This is never going to happen, is it?
Never. No, it's never going to happen. The reason for that is Crystal Palace can't dig their heels in because of his contract. And they're quite right to ask this type of money. Do I think he's worth it? Absolutely not. Would he fit into this Arsenal side? I'm not quite sure. I think there's inconsistencies with a player who's going to be costing something like 80 million. Arsenal don't seem to have that type of money to bring him in. Hence, I'm looking at other players in those areas. No, not for me.
So generally, what do they do then? These players are all in a bracket that supposedly they can afford, the 20 to 40 million range. He's in the 80 million bracket. What do they do to strengthen?
Well, the one thing that they need is a central defender. And there's a guy floating around who's not quite signed for Juve, not quite signed for Barca, whoever you want to talk to. The young Ajax player.
De Ligt?
Yeah, he's terrific, and that's exactly what you want. He's a young kid, you can build the side around him, 10 years you get out of him. He's a fantastic footballer. Go and start from those areas, because in most Arsenal fans' opinion, at the back, that's where they need to build. Koscielny's just going over the hill now. So for me, signing somebody like that's a statement signing, and but it's never going on.
So worth
I wish it would.
but worth pushing the boat out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because De Ligt is legit.